Hello, everyone. Welcome to Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano. We're watching us on Channel 26, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. And Todd Flesner's here, of course.
Thanks for joining us here in Milpitas.
Yeah. Weather's great.
It's gorgeous out, of course.
Gorgeous out there. So you brought a guest.
I did. I'd like to get that opportunity to introduce folks to Robin Hayes. Robin's been a long-time member of the Milpitas community, really involved, and also has her acupuncture practice here in town. So that would be a good time to learn about what an acupuncturist does for folks who may not be aware.
I am aware.
Oh, you are.
But that's okay. We will let them. Just saw her yesterday.
Well, I know a lot of folks in town know Robin.
Yeah, they do.
But I wanted to be able to introduce her to the entire community.
Okay,
so
Robin, welcome.
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, good. So we always begin the show by having the guests tell a little bit about themselves, where they grew up, where you were educated, and what brought you to this area.
So I was a Navy brat, so I was born in Hawaii and lived in a lot of places in the United States. Also lived in Italy. Went to college in Florence, Italy, as well as Florida State. And then I did my acupuncture degree in San Francisco at the American College of Traditional Chinese Medicine and my Doctor of Oriental Medicine in China.
Wow. Awesome. Mm-hmm. But you've been in Milpitas for a long time.
Over 30 years.
Over 30 years.
Mm-hmm. What
is it that keeps you here in Milpitas? What do you like about the area?
Well, I'm in the Rotary Club for 25 years. I know a lot of people in the city. I have a lot of friends. I love my patients. I like my practice. Mm-hmm. It's a nice local town. I'm on the Art Commission, so that's really been a nice asset as well.
Great. So I know a little bit about you, and I know you have not done acupuncture your whole life. Mm-hmm. You had a previous career. You did some arts.
I have a degree in art from Florida State.
Tell us about that.
And I lived in Berkeley, and I made pottery for a living for about almost 10 years, during which time I ended up going to acupuncture school because I was always interested in medicine. I just didn't want to work in a hospital setting, and I was introduced to acupuncture and decided that would be something I'd really like to do because I like to figure out what's wrong with people. And it's like fixing things. I like to fix people.
Okay.
Good. So for those that might not be aware of it, what is it that an acupuncturist does? What sort of, you talked about going to school, but are there other certifications or licensing that's required to being the acupuncturist?
We're licensed by the Consumer Affairs Board in California. Same people that license chiropractors and the regular MDs and nurses and govern all the boards.
Okay.
And we take a state board. There's also a national board. California has their own board, so we got to take two boards. I've been licensed by the United States or the national board also for 30 years, which I don't really need, but I've still got in case I ever move anywhere.
So let's get technical. So you use needles.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, so how does that work?
Okay, well, the needles are all disposable, and they have been by law for many years. I use a very gentle technique. The needles I use are very thin. They get tapped in through a little tube. Most people don't even feel them. I'll start treating them, and they'll say, "Have you started yet?" And I'll be almost done. It stimulates your immune system to work better, increases your blood flow, which works on a multitude of things, including back pain and neck pain, and it feeds your muscles.
Okay.
Also feeds your brain.
Okay.
So, we were talking beforehand, and you brought a long list of things that acupuncture can be used for. Tell us a little bit about that, because it's not just for specific pain. There are all sorts of things that acupuncture is helpful in.
Yes. So I was just looking for some studies today, and I came up with this list, which are all things that have been in studies on for acupuncture that have been shown to be successful, and it's everything from allergic rhinitis, fertility, low back pain, neck pain, all the regulars. I do a lot of foot problems, alcohol, dependence, bronchial asthma is on here.
How about weight?
Obesity, weight, gouty arthritis, opium, cocaine, and heroin dependence. They
Wow.
actually do that
Wow.
in the jails now, and they have for a very long time,
Wow.
probably for 20 years. Itching, eczema. I do a lot of allergies, a lot of fertility work, a lot of hormone stuff, TMJ, which is when your jaw locks up on you. I see people with dental pain that they can't find anything wrong with. I get a lot of people that have been from doctor to doctor and they haven't been able to find a solution, and they'll just have some weird pain, and it's really rewarding when the acupuncture works on that.
Okay, so like you said, then a lot of folks will come to you because they've tried other methodologies first. Is that pretty typical, or?
I used to call myself the last stop saloon, I'll tell you, They've been everywhere before they come to see me. Now I'm getting to be a little bit more mainstream, so they come a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Especially the ones that have seen me before. It's easier to fix someone when they're not as broken.
So do you have to do a series of treatments, or one time will work, or how do you treat your patients?
It depends on what's going on. If it's if it's mild, not too bad, and it hasn't been going on for very long, they can walk in and walk out feeling really, really good. And usually you need at least 3 treatments. Some people need a series of treatments. Some people have very chronic disorders that will entail maybe 6 to 10 treatments, and then perhaps they need to come once a month for a year. Say you have allergies all year long. You need to treat through the seasons at least somewhat for all the different things you're allergic to.
So, and I'll turn it over to Todd, but is a lot of this covered under insurance?
Insurance, it is. Acupuncture is becoming pretty mainstream. I've been a provider for insurance companies for a long time.
Terrific.
Anthem, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Aetna, United Healthcare.
Kaiser.
I'm also Kaiser, American Specialty. A lot of the Kaiser plans have it. The city has it. And workers' comp. I'm in a lot of those MPNs, which are like networks for work comp. I do auto accident claims. If you have what's called MedPay on your insurance and get an auto accident, they'll cover that, as well as through an attorney, they'll cover it as well.
Okay.
So pretty much cross-board. Oh, by the way, Covered California has acupuncture in it also.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so lots of access. So we talked about the long list of things before. Are there specialties that or ailments or treatments that you see most often, or things that you specialize that you're particularly effective in?
Well, the majority of my patients come in for pain-related disorders. So we're talking low back, neck pain, shoulder tendonitis, arthritis, knee arthritis as well. I see a lot of foot problems because they don't want to get surgery. Plantar fasciitis is a big one. Sometimes I feel like a podiatrist. I'll tell you, I see foot problems in 3 rooms at once. I have 7 treatment rooms, so I can see a lot of people at once. And
okay, so a lot of pain and joint ailments.
a lot of pain and joint. Second to that would be allergies. Third to that would be fertility, and they have lots of studies showing that it works with fertility, increases blood flow to the uterine arteries, which enhances the IVF procedure, as well as if you want to go natural.
So what would be the most challenging aspect of your career? And I know some people might come in not believing that it actually is going to work. And then
Those are the most fun, because when they get better, they go, God, my wife made me do this, and I can't believe it worked. The ones that come in and think, I've got the worst horrible stuff going wrong with them, and they think I'm going to save their lives. Those are usually the difficult ones. But I'd rather treat someone's husband who they had to drag in there, and they come back and they're like, oh my God, I feel better. So I've never felt like it's how much you believe.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's inversely proportionate.
Right.
Well, one thing about acupuncture, I think acupuncture goes back hundreds and thousands of years to Chinese medicine. But are there new developments or new treatments that have come along with acupuncture? Or is it really just go back to...
Well, there's a lot of studies that have come out which are really exciting. Say fertility, there have been studies on that, and there are specific points that you do, and there are specific points for right before they go into IVF and right after, because they did those in studies. And then they have studies for headaches, and you can look at those and see where they'll do the same set of points for a whole lot of people. And I like the scientific part of it, because everybody's different, but if you do the same treatment on a whole bunch of people, and most of them get better from this ailment using that treatment, then that's where you want to start, obviously. So
Okay, great. Well, that, maybe a lot of folks, I didn't realize that there was as much research, recent research that's really proven the effectiveness of acupuncture.
I want to make sure we switch gears and change hats here. So I met you through the Rotary Club, and I know so did Todd.
Yes.
And so, talk about your membership and the Rotary Club and how giving back as a business person in the community. How effective is that for you?
Well, I really enjoy Rotary. I joined Rotary early on when I started my practice. I've been in Rotary for over 25 years. And I joined it because I wanted to get to know people in the community. And these have always been the people that do things in the community. We've often had the Business Person of the Year. We, a lot of the mayors and the council people like yourself have joined Rotary. And together, we work together to raise money for different causes in Milpitas. We give out scholarships and do local events like helping with the food pantry or Camp Ryla. We serve ice cream to the kids at leadership camp. And then we do international stuff too.
Well, yeah, and your participation in that is greatly appreciated. But you also mentioned earlier the Arts Commission. Talk a little bit about your involvement in the Arts Commission. What are some of the things that the Commission is working on here in Milpitas?
Well, we have a % for the arts that went through, and we got some money to decorate our city, which was my reason for joining the Art Commission. I'm a founding member since the year 2000. And so we put art in all the parks, or almost all the parks. We're still working on that. And we also jury different projects that are going in now by developers. When they're doing a development, they have to use some of their money to put an art piece in that project. And so we approve that and then send it to the city council for final approval. But it's nice because we're finally getting some art in our city, so we can start looking like some of the other attractive cities around.
You've been a vocal proponent of a
Performing Arts Center.
And I hope you stay on that commission long enough to see that come to fruition.
Yes, yeah. It just came up again, and now I hear it's being shot down again. So if you're interested in that, so talk to your council person.
Good. You've been in Milpitas for a long time. What have you seen in terms of changes, and how about you can, as you look down the road, what keeps you excited about being here in town and being active?
Well, I like the community. I love my work. I look forward to going to work, and that's probably my favorite thing about the community. I like that we have pretty green hills, especially right now with the rain. It's so nice. And the people in Milpitas are very friendly. It's a nice, small community. I like that we have one high school, and it's just more of a local little town in a lot of ways.
Good.
Great.
Well, Robin, thank you very much for joining us today, and wish you well in your business. I know you have a great business going there. I can attest to that. And thank you very much for all you do for the service in the community.
Oh, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be able to come talk to you guys.
Yeah, Robin, thanks
Old
for
friends of
joining
mine.
us. Yeah, absolutely. And we're glad that folks are joining and gotten to know you a little bit better as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Hello there, welcome back. I'm Debbie Indahar Giordano, and Todd Flesner and I are going to give you a wrap-up segment of our Valley Homes on TV. We like to do this every month, and we're now looking backwards into the month of March.
So, first part of spring here, 2018.
Yeah, it is. A good quarter so far, and boy, just even the last week, the stock market has just taken a nosedive.
A lot of volatility, a lot, unknowns, and there's trade war rumors and uncertainty geopolitically, and
right.
And so people get a little worried sometimes, right?
Right. We just had an interview with a financial advisor and talking about those concerns that people have when they come in to speak to him about their financial planning. So I think a little uncertainty, but the housing market is certain, at least in this area. We were just talking about you've locked in a few loans, and your buyers are able to get into some contracts now. So
right, and so there seems to be a little bit of a freeing up, more inventory that we're seeing
more
coming
inventory's coming up,
right, and so people are having a little bit more success. They've been patient through the winter months when the inventory was really, really tight, and so I'm having my clients are having a lot more success now with their offers.
I'm not experiencing a high level of multiple offers. I mean, the properties are selling; they're still coming off the shelf fairly quickly. But in the past, we'd have 8, 10, maybe 12 offers, and that's been cut in half, I think. So, are you seeing that also?
I'm seeing that as well. Yeah, from the buyers I'm working with, that they may be in a multiple offer situation, but it's not the 15, 20 offers. It's maybe a handful.
Yeah.
And so, not as high stress of a sort of situation. It's still stressful, but not.
It's always been stressful.
But it's not the intensity level. I guess is probably the right way to describe it. Is
so Monday I got the update on the interest rate report, and it looks like rates have gone up about 0.25%. Is that true?
That's true. Yeah, we're starting to see interest rates go up. One of the leading indicators for that, we'll look at the 10-year Treasury rate. And the 10-year Treasury rate now has hit 3%, which has been kind of a benchmark, if you will. And so now we're just up over 3%. And so the market is liking the fact that the economy looks to be strong. Unemployment numbers are low. We've had a long string now of our unemployment numbers dropping, more job openings. We're starting to see a little bit more competition for employers to get employees, some rising wages. Part of that, the effect of some of the tax changes and tax cuts. And so it takes a while sometimes for the economy to move, right? And so we're seeing now that momentum really, I think, has shifted in a positive.
I didn't bring the article with. I do a weekly video update to a group of clients of mine, but I shared that this in the San Jose Mercury, they reported last week that the county shed 5,400 jobs, which was the first such shedding in quite many years, although the unemployment rate remains low. It didn't change that. So I just thought that was interesting. I looking at the traffic and people commuting in from today in the Mercury, they talk about commuters coming in from Stockton, hour and a half commute coming into the valley. So I think until we solve this affordable housing crisis here and locally, I don't know how much more the economy can expand here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, housing and the cost of living is a big concern, right? And so, I've seen some articles as well as about, starting to be some outflow in terms of migration in this area. And you probably, talking more to more people who have been longtime homeowners who are looking at now, is this the opportunity?
I have quite a few number of homes I'm putting for sale, and they're all moving out of the area. So.
And so, folks have seen that nice appreciation now in real estate, and if they've been here for a while, they're maybe looking for that opportunity.
And the newspaper talked about year over year was about a 30% appreciation, and we'll talk about that. That's actually right here in the numbers.
Okay.
Want to hear them?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's jump into that. So, single-family homes in Milpitas in March of 2017. We looked at the average price of $945,000. That jumped to $1,258,000. So about a 300 grand bump. Right there. There's the 30% that they
there it is.
talked about in the paper. The median price jumped from 915,000 to 1,200,000 even. Yeah. So the condo market went up a little bit, but not like the single family home. And remember I talked about we're not building any more single family homes.
Right.
So the condos we are building here locally, and there's a lot of inventory, but not of the single family. So condo market average price in March of 2017, 784,000. That went up to 869,000. Median price went from 815 to 905. So see the contrast?
Yes.
My prediction is coming true. If you've got a single family home and you don't need to sell it, hang on to it. But if you need to go, you're going to cash in very, very well. So
Yeah, so you're right, they're not building any more of it.
Nope.
Well, what do you see in terms of the continuity of this market? Does it have legs? Because that's one of the things that I keep hearing from people is how much longer do we think that prices can keep appreciating at the level
I
they
had
are?
that question Monday in Rotary from one of our fellow Rotarians. Yes, as long I had the open house this past weekend. Home price was 899,000. Although the home did have a need for a lot of work, garage conversion, no garage, so it had some real issues with the home. So I priced it low. It still brought in 75 families through the open house. Lots of lookers. That's where when that falls off and people are not looking, then the brakes will definitely come on in the market. So I don't know. I missed the last couple predictions, but certainly the demand is there, and I'm sure you've got many buyers lined up that are still looking.
I certainly do.
In the pipeline.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as long as I have the open house folks and you have the pipeline of buyers, I would say the demand is going to be there.
Yeah, I see demand continue as being strong.
All right, Todd, give folks your contact information if they want to reach you.
Yeah, if they want to reach me, have questions for the show or about financing in general, T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com.
Yep, and for myself, it's Giordano DJ at AOL.com.
Terrific. Well,
Okay.
we're glad the folks have joined us.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
We got some great guests coming up. So
We do.